All right. So I don't know how much you guys keep up with American politics. And this show is not about politics as far as like, I mean, we talk about social issues, but we don't necessarily get into like party politics. But I got to know, are people in Scotland aware of the political climate in the United States?
Mhm. Yeah.
So by the time this comes out, we will have either a new president or a president with a new term.
Yeah.
So who you think's gonna win, Biden or Trump?
Well, I hope.
Salute to the subscribers, those that live beyond the cipher. I'm your host, Illskillz. Welcome to the podcast that shows the humanity and the superhuman beyond the cipher. If you're new to the channel, please press the like and subscribe buttons. They cost you nothing. Today on episode 8, Ready and Rockin', we have a special guest all the way from Scotland, B-girl, choreographer, creative educator, Emma Reddy of the Flexible Flav crew. What up, Emma?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Now, you are the first of two things that we've ever had on our show. One, you are the first female to come on our show, and we appreciate that. Secondly, you are the first foreigner to come on our show, and we definitely appreciate that. Because, like I said, you're from Scotland, right? Edinburgh, correct?
Yeah, I grew up in Glasgow, but I live in Edinburgh.
Oh, okay, no doubt. Now, how does a person get into breaking in Scotland? Now, in America, if you're around my age, and I'm in my 40s, if you're around my age, you're probably a Beach Street baby, right? You saw Beach Street and you're like, oh. And now I have heard from, but I think these people are older than you, but it seems like the Europeans are flash dance babies. Is that the situation, or how did you get into breaking?
No, not my situation. Well, my first exposure to any kind of hip hop dance was in like 1984. There used to be a street performer in Glasgow city centre called Robbie the Robot. So he'd dress up in the white suit with the white expressionless mask on his face, and do his robotics and then freeze until someone put money in his hat. So whenever I went into town with my mum, I would always make her stop and watch this guy. So I was mesmerized by him, but also terrified at the same time.
It sounds like
scary.
It sounds like the Disney effect, right? Like kids love the Disney cartoons, but when they see the actual characters at Disneyland and they're like over 6 feet tall, they get freaked out.
Yeah, it was freaky. And my mum said I used to go home and practice, copy all his moves when I was at home. And she said that one day I came downstairs and said to her, "Well, I'm ready." And she said, "Ready for what?" And I said, "Ready to dance on the street." So that was that. And at the time I was doing dance classes, but tap and ballet, modern and jazz. And my mum tried to find some hip hop classes for me, but couldn't find any. So that was the first glimpse. But then when I was a teenager, I started listening to Cypress Hill and James Brown and Snoop Dogg, and got into the music when I was about 15. And then when I was 17, I moved to Edinburgh to come to university, and heard about a breaking and popping class. So I went along to that, started going to that, and loved it from the first session. That was me.
Wow. So you actually come from the the studio side of breaking, yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when you discovered the like competitive or like the, like the underground scene, was that way later?
No. At the time, so I started in 97. So at that time in Edinburgh, there were a lot of hip hop club nights going on. So we've got some really amazing DJs in Scotland. We've got Richie Roughton, who's a DMC champion like 4 times over.
Oh, wow.
So he used to run a night, he used to run a night called Scratch, that we used to go to, and he would bring all the big name hip hop artists to perform there. So him, and there were other nights at different clubs put on by different DJs. So I think in my second or third year of breaking, another class started at the university that I was at. So I started going to that, and there were a lot of other students there. And because we were at university, we had access to space to train. So we started training together in different student union halls, and going out to all these clubs together. So the music scene was there, the club scene was there, but there wasn't really a breaking scene at that point. So I think with the start of these two classes, which were taught by a guy called Alan Irvin and Wallace Sully, they kind of generated the next population of breakers in Edinburgh and different parts of Scotland, because they toured around teaching different places. So yeah, we kind of built the scene, this iteration of the scene, as we went along.
Oh, so wait, so you're part of the first generation scene of Scotland?
Second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was really big in the 80s. So there was a crew called Glasgow City Breakers and another one called LCC, who were based in Glasgow on the West Coast. And they were like rival crews, although
Okay.
they're all still friends to this day. But they used to have battles in a ballroom. It's called the Plaza. And lots of members of the public used to come and watch these battles.
Oh, wow.
But they were like little kids. So a lot of those guys are still around on the scene. So they're like the first generation, and the first B girl in Scotland is called Nancy, or Tracky G, and she's from the East Coast, so Fife. So there was a generation, and then maybe I'm like second and a half or third generation, because there are other people who started breaking before me in Glasgow. So Shelto Mills, one other people, but yeah, there was a lull. There was no scene for a while, and then it resurged.
So would you say that the scene is vibrant now, or is it in an underground phase? Like, where are you guys now?
So we have a scene. We have people breaking in. So Edinburgh, Glasgow, Dundee, and Fife. Not sure if there's Aberdeen. This class is going on up there. So, but everyone knows everyone. And when we have events here, say the maximum capacity is like 200 people. And
Okay.
that's with all the active dancers. So not just breaking, but all other hip hop styles as well. All the kids that come and all their parents. So it's a small scene. And before COVID, there were probably 3 or 4 events a year, and that would be our maximum. So my friend Lottie and I used to run a community interest company, which is similar to a charity. And we would put on a big event called Jam Peace once a year. That was our big competition event. And we had another night called Coast to Coast. It was a Cypher night, and we would do exhibition battles. And then in Glasgow, they've got, so Chaz and Tesco and Mario were organising 2 events as well. So when they were all running at the same time, it was like 4 a year. Now, obviously, nothing's happening. But
No doubt.
all online stuff. So still a small scene, but there's lots of kids dancing. So I think, if they continue, the scene will grow with them.
No doubt. So how do you feel about this generation of B-boys and B-girls and what it's evolved into?
I think, I don't know. I've not really thought about that too much. I think maybe people are becoming more all-rounders at the moment. So people are doing a bit of power, a bit of freezes, tricks, footwork, everything.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Let us know how we're doing in the comment section. And to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash the notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.